Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, we're talking Lady C's book. That's right, we are on chapter 10, roughly page 357 if you're reading along with me, and I can't wait to dive into this one. Today, we're discussing money. That's right, their quest of it under the guise of financial freedom. That's the term they like to throw around. We like to call it greed. So I can't wait to get into this. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, a quick note. We are about to wrap up this book. There is a chapter left. It's a thick chapter, so I'll probably have, a couple more episodes. But I want to think about what are we reading next, guys? What's juicy? What's good? What gives the tea on these two? What spills the dirt? What haven't we heard about? I want to know. Leave me comments. You have The Palace Papers. It's the Tina Brown book I have not read. I have heard reports that it's not the nicest to the royal families. I'm not so into that. I want to hear another or the next revenge, where it goes into the gory details of Harold and fraud. As soon as we make a decision on that, I'll announce it so we can all get it in and read it and talk about it, okay? So let's dive into this book. P.S. I was sent this picture on Twitter. I freaking love it. Thank you so much, Poison Apple, for sending it to me. It's genius. Okay, so this part of the book is all about Harold and fraud and their quest for making money. She does bring up, she meaning Lady C, brings up that it is funny that they just keep going back to this financial independence. I'm thinking of that stupid Finding Freedom, good Lord. But the horrors of life without financial independence, which does sound scary if you don't realize what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. So it's estimated that Harry's worth some 40 mil, while their income from the British state, it says exclusive of expenses amounting to at least another 2 million, as well in excess of 3 million per year. Meghan herself was worth at least 4 million. Now, this is according to Lady C. I'm taking that with a grain of salt because I've actually heard Meghan was worth less. I did not do that on purpose. I promise. No, I heard that she was worth like 1 or 2 million, I think. And then I don't know that he's still receiving that yearly money, but I do know that the Diana money, he already had a bunch of money and then he gets the Diana inheritance as well. So fuck off. What are you talking about? Financial independence. You've got it. You're there. Stop using that as your excuse. Obviously, we don't begrudge anybody of making money. That's not the problem. It's the constant lying. That's the crazy part. When you have a million lies and you're still throwing out more, that's when people go, what are you talking about? And that's what makes me go, what are you talking about? What is this financial independence? You're there. You've got it. Stop talking about it. What are we doing? But back to the matter at hand. Lady C goes into how Harold and fraud, at this point, they were still in Canada, but they were making their way to California. And they were working with the American press. Basically, it sounds like Harry and Meghan could drip feed People, Page 6, and a few others about the stuff that they wanted written. Now, she has some things to say about America. So again, I love Lady C. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. She's not wrong on this part. The press is annoying. They love to kiss celebrity asses here. It's obnoxious. I don't love that either. You can't get away from it. And it's just a known thing that basically what they want printed is what's printed. You know what I mean? Like, their people leak stuff. I'm saying any celebrity, if you're big enough, you have your people put out stuff and that gets reported as fact. So that's her point here, is that American press kind of kisses the celeb's ass more than it sounds like it does in the UK. Oh, it's just another win for Hank and Skank. Take a look at the screen, by the way. Really good picture of Hank and Skank. Oh, every time I see this, it just looks hilarious. Like, does she know where she is? She looks like she's at a totally different event than the guy behind her. Seriously, it feels like I'm watching a zombie movie. It's so crazy. So Lady C goes into how they were hardcore working with Sunshine Sachs. That's their California representation. And they apparently have aggressive tactics. And it's just about getting their name out in the press. I mean, it's nonstop, right? I've talked about it before. To me, it's not just about getting their name into the press. Sorry, it's about drawing attention to themselves, especially when any other working royal is actually doing something of note. That's their favorite time to strike. Like, look over here, we can't have the attention off us. Oh yeah. So again, this book came out in 2020. She talks about, she's so on the money. Like, even this was of course before 2023's South Park, where it's we want privacy. So she talks about how they would not stop talking about their desire for privacy. But on the other hand, they were embarking upon a series of posts on Instagram to increase their profile. Again, that's exactly what drew me to the Amber Heard stuff. That's exactly what draws me to this stuff. It's the nonstop, we're going to say something that makes no sense and does not match with our actions at all. You can't look away. So I guess in that way, it's working. Because here I am talking about it, but I can't help it. I'm like completely obsessed because I've just never seen people like this before. Narcissistic, completely just cannot tell the truth if their life depended on it. Just wild. All right. So then they tell the story about Meghan's privacy had been violated because it was a convenient narrative for them. What they're talking about is that stupid picture of her grinning ear to ear, clearly knowing she's being photographed while with her protection officer and barely holding Archie. I don't know what you call that. Walking her dogs. More interested in the dogs than the baby. So it's so weird because if you really thought your privacy was being violated, wouldn't you turn to your protection officer or not have a big smile or, I don't know, protect your baby? Just a thought. But as anybody with a brain can see, and Lady C is alleging, she must have colluded with the photographer because no one walks around like that unless they know they're going to be photographed. But it's just their old tricks. It's their tactics, right? It's their way of keeping themselves in the news while still casting themselves as victims because, oh, guys, they were being photographed. Oh, she didn't know. Oh, this wasn't planned at all. So Harry returns to Canada, and he and Meghan decide this is a great time. Of course it is, because they're making money. It's that thing I talked about where they boarded the private jet for JP Morgan and flew to Palm Beach and went and gave a speech about how every action counts and people should not do anything to increase their carbon footprint as the planet's in danger and it's up to each of us. You guys, I wish I was making that up. I'm not. That's the bullshit that they spew. Again, I've talked about it at length. Take a private jet. Enjoy yourself. You know, whatever you want to do with your life, that's fine. But you don't need to lecture the rest of us who are not taking private jets that you have to take a private jet, or that he's lecturing that every action counts and you can't increase your carbon footprint. It's just total bullshit. The rules don't apply to them. They make them up as they go along. They're so fucking annoying. Okay. So when his critics pointed out, what are you talking about? You guys keep flying private jet. Do you know what his answer was? You guys, I cannot even. It was not a luxury. It's a necessity. Their circumstances were so special that commercial travel was simply impossible. Well, inflated sense of self and can't tell the truth about anything. Let me show you something. What are these pictures of? Well, I'm glad you asked. These are pictures of William, Catherine, the children, on different commercial flights that they've done, including Ryanair 79-pound flight that they took. So, yeah, you can fly commercial. It's your greed and your inflated sense of self that's stopping you. Hey, and speaking of inflated sense of self, here's Meghan again. What? I'm still stuck on this. I'm just thinking about Harry and this we got to do something, and I've said it before, but go with me here. Sarah Marshall, Aldous Snow. We gotta do something. That was Russell Brand's character that sang a song about we gotta do something with no actual plan of doing anything or what they were trying to do or how they would do it. That basically is how I feel every time Harold and Fraud spit rhetoric like that. We gotta do something. So back to this event, JP Morgan event, where Meghan was giving an introduction to Harry, because of course she was. She then played on the audience's heartstrings, quote, by revealing how much she loves Harry, who is, of course, a wonderful man. I hope you can hear the sarcasm in my voice. Worthy of love of a good woman, and how her love had saved him from the horrors of a royal life without financial independence. My God. Of course they would say that. Of course she would act like that. And I can't think of a dumber group of people to listen to that crap. So Hank went on, I can't stop laughing at her trying to say that. Hank of Hank and Skank went on stage and discussed he and Meghan's decision to step down as senior royals, laying the blame at the feet of his trauma that he had suffered, and he doesn't want the same to happen to his family. So people talk about this speech, and apparently he jumped all around. They didn't quite make the connection of where he was going. They felt like he was trying to sell Diana's story and still pat himself on the back for his sacrifice of giving up royal life. Not real sure there. None of it's adding up. None of it. It was called, quote, illogical, but very emotional. That sounds like we're describing Harry. And then it was also brought up, quote, how often can Harry play the card about his mental health? Again, this book was written in 2020, and I say, 2023 says hold my beer, because he sold that story a lot. There's speculation that they made about $1 million from that speech that he made. My God. She can buy so much stupid clothing with that. So what people don't talk about is the way that whole world works, which apparently a forged relationship between them and JP Morgan, who will trot them out as ambassadors or guests or whatever the most convenient label they can slap on them is, and they will get paid fees ranging from, this is Lady C's calculation, about $250,000, upwards of over $1 million, depending on the occasion and their degree of input. Ugh. I just want to get rich so I can not bank with JP Morgan. Because right now I don't think they'd care if I didn't put my $12 in with them. But one of these days I'm going to have $120 and I'm not banking with JP Morgan. Old duck lips on the screen will bank with whoever, but I'm not doing it. I have principles? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, I don't. But I don't like Harry and Meghan, so I'm not supporting any of their business. Suck on that. Oh my God. Okay, so then we get into chapter 12, and I am going to wrap it up here in a minute so that we'll have more chapter 12 to go. But the first page, I did have to highlight this. Basically, Lady C is talking about, well, let me read this part. Here we go. This is page 363 if you're reading along with me. It's difficult to envisage them losing popularity in the United States to the extent that they have in Britain, or to such an extent they become a valueless commodity. And again, I say, welcome 2023. They've done it. We can't stand him here either. Now, I like to kiss my own ass here because I knew it. I called it. I actually called it, was it 2021? No, maybe 2022. I don't know. I made a video about Meghan Markle being the worst, and then I got all this hate saying, you're a racist. And I was like, no. It's not why I hate her. I hate Harry too. He's white, so explain that. No, it's because they're awful people. And so I made this video, and yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm just saying Lady C likes to point out that Americans relate to the game, and I'm telling you, I saw it on that ITV interview. I knew it. I just didn't know how awful he was. That was kind of surprising. And again, it's not that I really just didn't give him much thought. William's the better brother, so I've been watching him. I hadn't really paid attention to old Harold. But I do find it funny because she, again, says she can't imagine them losing popularity. And I say, oh, we're there. They've sold their stories. They've sold their souls. We can't stand them. They keep lying and doing stupid things, like wearing $12,000 plus worth of stuff to a homeless shelter, essentially, and just no self-awareness. They're the worst. Okay. But then she points out, they face the danger of ever diminishing returns with the passage of time. The more you sell yourself, the less desirable you become. Ooh, I need to write that down for myself. No more selling myself. It actually worked out for Meghan, though. There's rumors, allegedly, don't sue me, allegedly, that she could have possibly maybe been on a yacht girl. So, I don't know. The more you sell yourself, the less desirable you become. There's that. Anyway, God, you guys, it's Friday. I'm excited to be here. I feel like fully caffeinated. But yeah, this was really good. I think I'm going to end it here. I appreciate you guys being here. There's still more to do on this chapter, so we'll dive into that. And I need your input on the next book. Send me comments. Let me know. Let me know what's juicy. I need some juicy stuff. We need some juice. This one's been juicy. I need more juice. Let me know what that is. I keep saying juice. Guys, thank you so much for watching, for being here. This has been a fabulous week. So much content. I hope you're enjoying it. And I can't wait to bring you more stuff. So check back lots. Again, thanks for watching. If you want to further support the show, definitely check out Patreon. We just did Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop and her court case. We've been talking about that over there. What else? I got one coming out on Hilaria Baldwin. So check that out. And lots on Hank and Skank, Harold and Fraud, Harry and Meghan. So check that out. That's patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. We put out stuff every couple of days over there. So definitely check that out. I do want to give a huge thank you and shout out to my executive producers, which you can also become at patreon.com. So a huge thank you to Linda. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Paige and Teresa. Thank you, Mary and Amy. Thank you, Mr. K. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Shauna, Brenda. Thank you, Aaron and Frank. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Ann M. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Ann H. Thank you, Karen and Corey. Thank you, Kay King. Thank you, Glennis. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Dewey. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Adair Becker. Thank you, Erica. Thank you to Amber. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Barb G. Thank you, Diana LOL. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you to Allison B. Thank you, Jean. Lori. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, KT. Thank you, Jolene. Thank you, Stromboli. Thank you, Catherine and Carla. Thank you to Loie. Thank you, Lucy H. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Susie. And thank you, Nikki. I'm so glad you're all here and supporting the show. I really appreciate it, and I couldn't do it without you. And again, check out Patreon if you want to become an executive producer, and I'll give you thank you as well.